Next, on Currents News, a COVID relief bill could be approved before Christmas, but where's the relief for struggling Catholic schools?
The stimulus money is coming too late for one Brooklyn store owner who's being forced to close her doors after 4 decades. I'm Emily DROOBY, and I'll have her story.
Then, a man who desperately needs a kidney already helped save one life with a billboard plea at the crossroads of the world. Could it be his turn next? And one of the Magi's 3 gifts to baby Jesus, frankincense, is disappearing. Why the medicinal tree could be near extinction. The news starts right now. Good evening, I'm Christine PERSICHETTE. Congress is rushing to get a $900 billion COVID relief package on President Trump's desk before the Christmas break after weeks of intense negotiations. It's being coupled with a spending bill, but a lot needs to be done before any of that money ends up in the hands of Americans. And there are also questions whether any of the relief money will be going to Catholic schools. Finally, some movement on Capitol Hill as Republicans and Democrats come close to agreeing on a spending bill and COVID-19 relief package.
It is a good bipartisan bill.
A deal that includes a laundry list of measures like $300 a week in enhanced unemployment insurance benefits, $25 billion for rental assistance and an eviction moratorium extension, $82 billion for schools, and $13 billion for food assistance. That $82 billion for education includes $4.5 billion for governors to spend at their discretion. It remains to be seen if the $2.7 billion set aside for private schools will include Catholic schools.
Good morning. Good morning.
It seems neither party is thrilled about stimulus checks at $600 per adult.
So, direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant, and they will be going out soon.
Some lawmakers say they fear they might not have enough time to actually read the text of the bills before they vote.
I want to see what's in it, obviously, because we don't know, but it's probably not going to be pretty, but it's better than nothing. It's how government works. We're sitting here, it's December, 20th, 21st today. We should have done this, weeks and weeks ago.
And for weeks, many Americans struggling to stay afloat.
Can I have 2 melons here, please?
Waiting in long lines for free food. Like South Florida's Deborah Hightower, who says she lost her job twice since the pandemic began.
I'm very independent and do not like to ask for help. But sometimes you just have to do, God humbles you.
Votes on the final relief package and the $1.4 trillion spending bill for the new fiscal year could pass by the end of the day. But the stimulus bill did not come soon enough for one Brooklyn small business owner. She's being forced to close her salon after 45 years. Currents News' Emily DROOBY has her story.
Christine's Beauty Salon is a staple of this mostly residential Windsor Terrace Brooklyn neighborhood, but soon it will be gone.
Hello, Christine's.
A place that feels more like a home than a business. That's because for 45 years, it's been owner Christina Ayala's second home. She opened up after moving to Brooklyn from Colombia in the 70s, working here with her husband. It was their American dream.
My customers, they were always wonderful. They became my family.
Those customers in this space became a place of solace when tragedy struck her family.
This is my home. After I lost my husband, it was very painful. I was able to go on because of my customers.
But soon it will be gone. The pandemic is to blame. In New York, the number of small businesses open has decreased about 24% since the start of the pandemic. Many forced to close their doors because of a lack of revenue. Christina is now one of them. First, she was forced to close for 3 months. Then she saw a 70% drop in revenue. Now customers are moving away, and she couldn't negotiate a cheaper rent with her landlord, right now paying several thousand a month. The perfect storm.
I could not keep the place open anymore, and that's why it's very painful.
She says even with the promise of the vaccine and a stimulus bill, she can't make it. The devout Catholic and parishioner of Holy Name of Jesus Church has been leaning on God for help.
I have a lot of faith in God. And I believe that whatever happened is because there's a reason why. And I'm going to take it from there, and one day at a time.
The shop will be closed by January 1st. Christina will offer at-home services to her customers, but unlike the past 45 years, her future is now uncertain. In Windsor Terrace, Emily Drooby, Currents News.
A new, more transmissible strain of the coronavirus has been detected in England, and now countries are scrambling to deal with the new threat. Governor Andrew Cuomo is urging the U.S. to act now before it's too late.
Right now, this variant in the UK is getting on a plane and flying to JFK. Right now, today. 120 countries require a test. We don't. Other European countries have done a ban. We haven't.
The new strain was first detected in England in September. U.S. health officials say they don't know if the variant is already here, but that they are watching it closely. Residents and staff of more than 600 nursing homes across New York State received their COVID vaccine shipments on Monday. The first resident to get vaccinated at the Hebrew nursing home in the Bronx was 79-year-old Kelly Dixon, who says he was happy to have the painless shot.
For me, it was a blessing, but I can't describe it because I didn't feel anything. I really didn't. I didn't even know the guy had injected me.
Dixon says he's looking forward to seeing his grandkids and his girlfriend, who he hasn't seen in 10 months. The Hebrew Home's medical director says over the next 3 days, every resident will get a shot, and most of the paid staff. Walgreens pharmacists will go room to room administering the vaccine. The Vatican is giving Catholics the okay to get the vaccine. The Holy See released a statement saying the anti-COVID vaccines are morally acceptable. The USCCB had already given the green light. The Vatican note says due to the ongoing pandemic, all vaccines recognized as clinically safe and effective can be used in good conscience and do not constitute formal cooperation with the abortion from which the cells used in production of the vaccines derive. Both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines used cell lines from aborted fetuses during confirmatory testing, not during production. He is the first Catholic bishop to get vaccinated. Archbishop Thomas WENSKI from Miami received the vaccine last week. He's here to tell us about it. That's still ahead in this newscast. President-elect Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden received their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine in Delaware. Biden gave President Trump some credit today, saying the administration deserves applause for getting Operation Warp Speed off the ground. President Trump has not received his vaccine. White House officials say he won't get the shot until it's recommended by his medical team. The CDC director has also okayed the Moderna vaccine, and distributors wasted no time trying to get the life-saving shots into the hands of those in need. Britt Conway reports on the first shipments.
A memorable moment in the pandemic, the first batch of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine already in transit.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. There are now 2 vaccines that are approved. They are incredibly effective and efficacious.
On Sunday, workers at the McKesson Distribution Center in Mississippi packed those vaccines. Each box also included items necessary to administer the shot, like syringes and alcohol wipes. FedEx and UPS trucks packed and ready to transport across the country. Operation Warp Speed officials say 5.9 million doses of the Moderna vaccine will be shipped on Monday, with the first shots likely administered that same day.
We look forward to the vaccine. It's going to be slightly easier to distribute because it doesn't require as low temperature as Pfizer.
Distribution of the second COVID-19 vaccine comes at a critical time in the fight against the virus. The U.S. averaged more than 219,000 new COVID-19 infections a day, and more than 18,000 Americans died of COVID-19 in the past week.
In the areas of California where the virus is spreading out of control, that there were a fair number of Thanksgiving gatherings between families, between people who didn't live in the same household. That may be part of the reason.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
There's a lot more news headed your way. We'll have details about Pope Francis's highly anticipated trip to Iraq. as war and violence decimates the Christian presence there. Then, one of the 3 gifts of the Magi, frankincense, is endangered. Why the ancient trees it comes from could be gone in our lifetime. And we'll update you on the Long Island man who using a billboard in Times Square for a second time to try to find a match.
The idea that people, strangers, individuals are coming forward and wanting to help is just surreal.
As the COVID-19 vaccines continue to roll out across the country, many are patiently waiting their turn or even weighing their options. Among the first to get vaccinated in Florida and the first bishop to get vaccinated in the country was Archbishop of Miami, Thomas WENSKI. He joins us now. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So why did you want to be one of the first to get the vaccine in your archdiocese and the first bishop? What example do you hope to set?
Well, I hope to set a good example and hopefully encourage others to step up and to get vaccinated as the opportunity to do so continues to grow. And here in the Archdiocese of Miami, we have a rather large Catholic health care system. And so last Wednesday, the Florida Department of Health came to St. John's Nursing Center in Fort Lauderdale to begin vaccination of both employees and residents. And as the Archbishop of Miami and therefore titular head, I guess, of that very large Catholic health service system, it was suggested to me that I should set an example and go first. So I did.
All right. Well, so I hear you're not a fan of needles, and we actually have a
I'm
picture.
Not a fan of needles. No, I'm a typical guy. You know, I don't like pain. And,
well, we have a picture of you, and you look like you're wincing a bit. So how did it go?
Well, it went very well. It wasn't any worse than the flu shot, and certainly a lot better than the times that nurses poke into my arms looking for a vein to draw blood. So it was better than I had hoped for, better than I expected, which is good because now in a few weeks I have to go for the second shot because first shot is administered and then 3 weeks later you go and get the second shot.
Exactly. So, and I know getting blood is never fun. Did you have any aches or pains afterwards after this shot and any side effects so far?
Not really, not at all. So, you know, maybe the rest of my aches and pains kind of neutralized any aches and pains I might have felt in my hand, in my arm, but it wasn't no bad reaction whatsoever.
Oh, that's good to hear. Now, the Vatican just put out a statement saying the vaccine is morally acceptable for Catholics. The USCCB also approved its use. What are your thoughts on the ethics of these vaccines?
Well, again, this is one of the reasons I stepped forward to take the vaccine so that our Catholic people would have confidence not only in the United States Drug Administration that approved the vaccine, but also to have confidence that the vaccine was not morally objectionable at all. And there is no connection or direct connection with abortion and the development of these vaccines. There is something many years ago, but a very remote connection, and therefore it doesn't present for us any ethical concerns. And actually, you know, it is ethically a positive thing to get vaccinated because it is a social good. And getting vaccinated, we not only protect ourselves, but we also protect others.
Absolutely. So we're glad you went and got your shot. Archbishop Thomas WENSKI from the Archdiocese of Miami. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
The coronavirus has curtailed Pope Francis's travel plans, but in March he plans to make his first trip in 15 months. The Holy Father will travel to Iraq. Vatican officials say the visit will be a gesture toward the country's persecuted Christians. In 2014, ISIS military forced over 100,000 Christians to flee the Nineveh plains. The region was liberated in 2017, but less than half of those families returned. Estimates show that in 2003, there were 1.4 million Christians in Iraq. Now, only about 150,000 remain. Cardinal Leonardo Sandri, who heads the Congregation for the Oriental Churches, says he believes the Pope's trip will help bring peace.
The Pope's visit will promote this hope for coexistence between all human beings. Being children of God, they share the same dignity and are brothers and sisters.
Iraq is a Muslim-majority country, so the Pope is expected to meet with representatives of Islam. He also plans on visiting Mosul and Caracas, the cities from which persecuted Christians fled, and Erbil, where they took refuge. Pope Francis wants us to prepare spiritually for Christmas, so he's inviting pilgrims in Rome to visit the 100 Nativity Scenes exhibition under the colonnade of St. Peter's Square. The pontiff says it's a way to understand how people use art to show how Jesus was born. Visitors can check out the exhibit through January 10th. One of the gifts brought to the baby Jesus when he was born is in danger of disappearing. The trees that produce frankincense are in severe decline and could soon become extinct. Robert Duncan has more.
Frankincense is still sought after today for its religious, medicinal, and household purposes, making it one of the oldest traded commodities in the world. An aromatic resin, frankincense is harvested from the tears that seep from the cuts made to a variety of Boswellia tree species, which grow in the harsh, dry climates of Yemen and Oman in the Arabian Peninsula, of Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, and Sudan in East Africa, and in northwestern India. The Catholic Church is a major consumer of frankincense, with incense having an important place in its rites and the liturgy. Dried gum grains are burned over hot coals in a censer or thurible to incense the altar, the book of the Gospels, offertory gifts, sacred images, and those participating in the Mass, as the smoke symbolizes sanctification and the prayers of the faithful rising up to God. But the trees that produce frankincense are in severe decline, and the Church has a role in protecting the trees, and there are hopes Pope Francis will get involved.
The Catholic Church has a lot of power to demand traceability and accountability and to be a part of the solutions and assisting with replanting and helping with the conservation of the species. The fact that it was brought to baby Jesus is not a small matter.
Again, that was Robert Duncan reporting. According to researchers, frankincense has exceptional medicinal qualities, which would have made it a very useful gift for the Holy Family. Speaking of traditions and masses, a special liturgy will be offered right here on Net TV. A traditional Latin Mass, or Tridentine Mass, will be broadcast live from the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph on December 29th at 7 p.m. Be sure to tune in to the special liturgical experience, once again, December 29th at 7 p.m. A reminder to parents, the annual Tablet Christmas Art Contest is on. Students in grades 1st through 12th in Brooklyn and Queens are invited to express their faith through art with the theme, Keep Christ in Christmas. So if your child's interested, they can send their artwork to thetablet.org/2020 art contest. Remember, this is a digital art contest, so no physical artwork will be accepted at the Tablet's office. One more thing, Wednesday, January 13th is the deadline, so you have to submit those works of art before 5 p.m. that day. Still to come on Currents News, 2 men forever connected by an extraordinary act, now celebrating a life saved and still hopeful for a Christmas miracle.
With Mike celebrating his anniversary of donating a kidney, and hopefully my chance will come soon.
Two years ago, a Long Island man took his search for a kidney donor to the billboards of Times Square. It didn't turn out for him then, but his quest helped save another life. Now he's back at the crossroads of the world in hopes of receiving a life-saving gift this Christmas. Currents News' Jessica Easthope is in Manhattan with more.
These days, it seems like everyone is looking down. But Mark Weiner wants you to look up.
Oh, there he is. There he is again.
He's hoping someone, anyone, will see these two billboards that tower over Times Square.
There it is, there it is.
On the electronic displays is Mark's picture and his story. To put it simply, he needs a kidney.
It's about living donors. For me, I'm sending out the awareness because I still need a kidney. I still need somebody to donate one.
This isn't the first time Mark's been seen at the crossroads of the world.
There we go.
In 2018, Mark got creative in his search for a kidney. Through his wife Lisa's job and some friends, a billboard was put up in Times Square. Hundreds of thousands of people saw Mark's billboard every day, but it only took one to give him hope.
Out of nowhere, this selfless individual saw this billboard and wanted to donate to me.
That person was Mike Lalo.
Every 5 minutes for 5 seconds. All right.
Mike was working as an NYPD detective at the time when he read about Mark's story and decided he was going to help. Unfortunately, Mike wasn't a match for Mark. But he was for a woman in Pennsylvania named Ruth. And 1 year ago, Mike saved Ruth's life by giving her his kidney.
The same blood type doesn't matter. Geography doesn't matter. So whoever's seeing this, wherever you are, you could be Mark's living donor.
Exposure like this usually comes with a hefty price tag. Just ask Denise Levine, the woman in charge of what gets put up on these screens.
See if they could just run it for like 5 minutes.
Denise knows a compelling ad when she sees one, so she knows this one is priceless.
It brings life and happiness, and it can help people and save lives.
As for Mark, he hit some speed bumps on his journey for a kidney, but he's now cancer-free and once again putting everything into his search.
I'm with Mike celebrating his anniversary of donating a kidney, and hopefully my chance will come soon.
Mark's match is out there, and just like his Times Square billboard, the search could be over in an instant. All it takes is a little courage and a lot of kindness.
The idea that people, strangers, individuals are coming forward and wanting to help is just surreal.
It's been more than 2 years since Mike and Mark met. They now have become advocates for living kidney donation.
Now I have extended family in Pennsylvania. I have Mark.
And while he didn't get a kidney from Mike, he did get a friend.
Crazy, right? Unreal.
Now all he needs is you. In Manhattan, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
And we're saying a prayer for Mark. Dawn Del Mastro Cherma, the president of the company that owns the billboard, donated this space to the whiners for free at 2 minutes an hour, a fee that would normally cost $30,000 a month. Mark is still looking for his life-saving kidney. For more information on his story and how to become a living donor, visit kidneyformark.org. And we have a programming note for you before we go. Currents News will be on hiatus starting on Christmas Eve through the new year, but we will return on Monday, January 4th at 7 p.m. And that is Currents News. I'm Christine PERSICHETTE. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.